What is the most common mistake that people make when they study English? You will find the answer to this question and part of its solution in this week's episode of Master English with Tim. I'm Tim, and in my podcast every Monday, you can learn English in depth and detail and without ever hurrying. The things that you learn in my podcast will help you make that jump from intermediate to more advanced English pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. So, what is the most common mistake that students make when learning English? Honestly, there are a lot of them, but I think the most common one is to learn just one meaning of each word. I've been teaching for 20 years now, and this is the mistake that I see most often. Words typically have more than one meaning, and if you want to really break that intermediate barrier and start speaking and understanding more advanced English, then you need to know those additional meanings. And that is what I will help you do in this episode. I will help you learn 24 meanings of 10 words from the NGSL, or New General Service List, which is a list of the 2,800 most used words of English. And the words at the beginning of the list, words number 1, 2, 3, and 4, these are words like be and at and in and for, things like that. Those are the very, very most used words of English. And in this podcast, we are already much deeper in the list. We are at word number 1,856, which is concentration. This one has 3 meanings, and all of them are nouns. So, meaning 1 of 3. This is a large amount of something that is found in one small place. 3 examples. And in fact, during this episode, for each meaning of each word, I will give 3 example sentences. So, example 1. Satellites photographed a concentration of soldiers near the border. 2. The concentration of smart and talented people in Paris is absolutely amazing. 3. There is a high concentration of sugar not just in Coca-Cola, but also in fruit juices. Okay, meaning 2 of 3. This is continued thought about a single thing or continued action in a single area. A synonym of this would be focus. 3 examples. 1. Drinking coffee improves my concentration for a few hours. 2. Your exclusive concentration on work has hurt your relationships with friends. 3. I study in quiet places and early in the morning because my concentration is easily broken. Third and last meaning of concentration. This one is focus that a person has in their studies. Specialization. And not just a specialization, it's a specialization inside of a specialization. So 3 examples. 1. I studied economics with a concentration in behavioral microeconomics. 2. Aaron studies psycholinguistics and has a concentration in neurological speech disorders. 3. James' concentration in large language models based on mechanical engineering texts helped him get a job at an engineering startup. Okay, let's move on to the next word, 1,857, implication. That's IMPLICATION. Implication. 3 meanings. Also, all of them are nouns. First meaning, conclusions that we can make based on information that we have. 1. The implications of the data are clear. Higher import taxes are leading to higher prices for consumers. 2. The report's implications are stated at the top of the first page. Children's reading and math skills got significantly worse during the pandemic. 3. The economic data seems shocking at first, but are the numbers accurate? And if they are accurate, are their implications really so serious? Third meaning, the long-term consequences of an event, invention, or discovery. 1. One implication of the invention of writing was a new ability to know the thoughts and feelings of people born hundreds or even thousands of years ago. 2. Einstein's theory of relativity had deep implications for how humanity saw itself and its place in the universe. 3. It's difficult to overestimate the implications that the discovery of intelligent life on another planet would have. Next meaning, last one. Possible involvement or guilt in something negative. 1. The president's implication in a corruption scandal may cause him to lose next month's election. 2. The policeman's implication in the buying and selling of drugs and illegal weapons shocked the small town. 3. His implication in the theft and sale of people's internal organs is still unproven. Next word, 1858. Deserve. D-E-S-E-R-V-E. Deserve. This one actually has just one meaning, and it is a verb. So if you deserve an event that happens to you, for example, if you deserve a pay raise at work, then you earned that event or result, and that event or result is fair. 3 examples. 1. You've worked hard and deserve a nice long vacation. 2. Take another piece of candy, Tim. You deserve it. Actually, I really like hearing this. There's a guy in my office where I work, and whenever I take a piece of candy, he sees me do it, and he says, Tim, you deserve it. Take that piece of candy. Love it. Next example. 3. Even guilty people deserve a fair trial. Next word, 1859. Unusual. This one has just one meaning, and it's an adjective. And the meaning is different from what we expect, not ordinary. 1. Black is a really unusual color for an apple. 2. You have such unusual opinions, my friend. What do you read, and what do you smoke? 3. Being able to fluently speak Kurdish is an unusual skill, but for most people, it's not a practical one. Next word, 1860. Defend. D-E-F-E-N-D. One meaning, and it is a verb. So it is to protect something from attack. 1. A soldier's job is to defend his or her country. 2. The immune system defends the body against bacterial, viral, and fungal infections. 3. I'm tired of defending you just because you're my identical twin. Maybe you should just stop acting like a complete idiot? Okay, next word, 1861. Classic. C-L-A-S-S-I-C. Classic. This one has 2 meanings as an adjective and 1 as a noun. We also have a plural noun of this word, classics, with an S, and that one has a different meaning. But we will start with the form without an S. Also, I'm glad to say that this word has several meanings. I know at the beginning of the episode I said, let's talk about some words that have multiple meanings, and then we've done a couple words that have just one of them, but those are kind of exceptions, and some of the words in this episode have kind of a lot. And let's get back to classic. The noun meaning of classic is a famous piece of art, especially a book or play that has had a special and lasting impact on culture. 3 examples. 1. Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet is a classic. Everyone should not just read it, but see it performed on the stage. 2. I wonder how many people have really read the classics. I know, for example, I've never read The Odyssey by Homer. 3. Crime and Punishment, War and Peace, and Fathers and Sons are all classics of Russian literature written in the 19th century. Okay, the first of 2 adjective meanings is relating to or connected with a classic. Classic in the meaning from the first definition that you just listened to. 1. I wish I had more time to read classic literature. 2. My wife and I love watching classic movies on the weekend. 3. Collecting classic cars definitely is an extremely expensive hobby. Now, while I was reading those, I just thought of something. We also have classical music. Not classic music, but classical music. That refers to like Beethoven and Brahms and Debussy and all those kinds of artists. So that is classical music. And the second of 2 adjective meanings of classic is very typical or representative of a person's behavior. This is informal language, quite informal. It's not quite slang, but it is still informal. 1. Joel borrowed your car and brought it back without refilling the gas? Well, that's classic Joel for you. 2. When Abby found out that I was sick, she cooked 4 days of food for me so I didn't have to cook. Oh, that's classic Abby. She's always ready to help. 3. Natalia arrived late, then left without saying goodbye. Oh, don't be surprised. That's classic Natalia. Okay, that's all of the meanings of the form classic without an S. But like I promised earlier, we also have a plural noun with an S, classics. This one has one meaning. It is the study of the ancient languages, history, and culture, especially of ancient Greece and Rome. So if you studied Mesopotamia or China or something, or the Indus Valley civilization, would that be classics? Well, yeah, probably it would be. But when we say classics, typically people think of Greece and Rome. Examples. 1. Classics is a fascinating field, but it rarely leads to high pay after graduation. 2. My daughter is studying classics and has a concentration in early Greek sculpture. 3rd and last. The classics department at the University of Michigan has a new dean. So a dean is a boss of a university. Next word, 1862, king. This one is a noun, just one meaning. It is a male or man leader of a country, and he is a leader because he is chosen by that country's royal family. 3 examples. 1. Charles Windsor became King Charles III, King of the United Kingdom in 2022. 2. Louis XIV, also called the Sun King, was King of France for over 72 years. 3rd and last. When a person becomes king, we say that he ascends the throne, and when he quits being king, we say that he abdicates. Next meaning, 1863, interaction. This one is always a noun, and there are 2 different meanings. So the first of 2 nouns is the process of affecting and being affected. 1. When we say that there is an interaction between A and B, it means that A affects B and B also affects A. 2. Interactions can take place between the different medicines a person is taking, and some of the interactions can be harmful. In other words, you take 2 medicines or 3 medicines and they start to mix up with each other and make worse effects or bigger effects or unpredicted effects, that kind of thing. Those are interactions, and your doctor usually warns you about interactions if you're taking multiple medicines. 3rd and last example. It's relatively simple to study the gravitational interaction between a star and a planet, but when you add more planets to the system, the interactions become extremely complex. The second of 2 nouns of interaction is communication between 2 or more people. 1. Every interaction in the bank is recorded by a video camera. 2. I have never met Kevin in person. All of my interactions with him were through social media. 3. Small kids need lots of interaction with people of their age so they can develop their social skills. Next word, 1864. One verb and one noun. This word is repair. R-E-P-A-I-R, repair. So let's start with the verb. If you repair something, you fix something that was broken. 1. It will cost you more to repair your car than it will be to buy a new one. 2. A big storm damaged the roof of our house, so we had to pay to have the roof repaired. 3rd and last. Fewer people are bringing their bicycles to shops because there are so many videos on YouTube about how to repair bikes yourself. Okay, now we are ready for the noun. It is changes that were made to something in order to make it work again. So, 3 examples. 1. We really should make some repairs to the car before we try to sell it. 2. The repairs to your boat will be so expensive that it makes more sense to buy a new one. 3. If you want someone to fix your computer, maybe talk to Dave. His family has a computer repair service. Okay, and now we are ready for the last word of this episode. 1865, collapse. C-O-L-L-A-P-S-E. This one has 6 different meanings. They are a mix of nouns and verbs, and it makes sense to kind of go back and forth between the 2. So the first meaning is a verb. It is to fall down in a fast, dramatic way. 1. In May of 1980, a large boat hit the Sunshine Skyway Bridge in Tampa, Florida. Part of the bridge collapsed into the ocean below, killing 35 people. Very famous incident in the United States. 2. Engineers put dynamite into key structural locations in the tower to make it quickly collapse without endangering nearby buildings. 3. Investors are always waiting for prices to collapse so they can buy assets for next to nothing. The second meaning of 6 is a noun, and it is a sudden and dramatic fall. As you can see, this comes directly from the previous meaning, the verb meaning. 1. Fortunately, no one was killed by the collapse of the roof, as no one was home at the time. 2. Hundreds of people came to watch and record with their phones the controlled collapse of the old Cook County Hospital in Chicago in 2020. 3. The collapse of the bridge was predicted repeatedly by engineers for years, yet no one did anything to fix it. The third meaning is a verb. This meaning is to rapidly lose strength, power, or complexity. Some people are always saying that you should buy silver and gold because the economy is about to collapse. 2. The corporation collapsed shortly after government auditors discovered that it had been lying about its debts and profits for years. 3. The Ottoman Empire, the Russian Empire, and the Austro-Hungarian Empire all collapsed as a result of the First World War. The fourth meaning is a noun from the previous meaning. It is a sudden loss in strength, power, or ability. 1. Historians are still debating the causes and effects of the collapse of the Soviet Union from 1987 to 1991. 2. The famous stock market collapse of 1929 led to economic problems in most of the world. 3. The collapse of native populations in the Americas after the arrival of Europeans is one of history's worst demographic disasters. The fifth meaning of collapse is a verb, and it is used in a medical context. This meaning is to fall and lose consciousness because of a sudden and very serious medical problem. 1. Collapsing and dying is one of the easiest and least painful ways to die. 2. The first marathon was run in 490 BC when a Greek citizen ran 42 kilometers to warn others that a foreign army was attacking. The runner succeeded in warning his fellow citizens, but he collapsed and died after his run. Actually, I believe that according to Greek legend, that guy ran something like 150 miles in one night. So in reality, that was probably 42 kilometers. 3. We are very lucky that an ambulance was nearby when my dad collapsed. Okay, the final meaning of collapse is also a verb. This one is rather different, but actually quite similar in a way. The meaning is to use the folding or flexible joints of a mechanical device to make it smaller in order to store or transport it. So some things you might collapse. You might collapse a sofa or a couch. You might collapse a bicycle. 1. Please collapse the bed back into the sofa in the morning. You know that kind of sofa that has a bed in it. You know, if you take off the cushions or the pillows on the top of it, and then you unfold the bed, and you've got a bed that came out of the couch. Well, if you want to put the bed back, you would say that you collapse the bed. 2. It's time to go home. Let's collapse the tent and put our things in the car. Third and last, this bicycle is easy to travel with because it's designed to be collapsed and put in a small travel case. Okay, that is all for this week. Thank you so much for listening.